Welcome back to Jack Scraps. I am doing part 2 of my project for Country Craft Creations New Year's Eve Disco Crop at the Rink. And I am making a jukebox mini album. If you missed the first video, I will have a playlist link down below and you can go and watch it. I tell you all about the project as well as how to find a free cutting guide and templates if you need templates to create this. In the first video, we worked on the cover right here, and now we are starting to do the pages, and we'll do the back cover, hopefully all in one video. So what I'm doing now is just adding our base page to the back of our front cover. So this is our front inside cover. I have stuff all over my desk and it's getting static. For this project, I am using Homer's Diner from Country Craft Creations, 8x8, and some of the 12x12, but mainly for embellishing, and at least so far. I guess I shouldn't say that because I haven't finished the project yet. Okay, now that that's down. So I already explained that there is a Cricut file link to go along with this project and that you can find it on Cricut Design Space. You can just look at my name, Jacqueline Hart. I think it also says Jack Scraps on there as well, so you could find me either way. There is a base page design in there, which we just put down, and then I have a pattern for this piece, which is the base page decor, I call it, or pattern piece. And you're going to want to cut one of these out. I think I put the pages to where they would have 1/8 of an inch border all the way around them. So we can go ahead and add that. Okay, next you're going to need a piece of color cardstock. I use the My Colors Swiss Dot. I think it's called Fern something or other. Of course, as you may know, My Colors is no longer being produced. This is a 4x4 piece, and then you're going to need white cardstock for matting, and this is 3.5 by 3.5. I'm just going to glue these two pieces together to make a photo mat. Okay, we can set that aside. Now, oh, yes, so, okay, I'm sorry. Let's back up a minute. I just remembered after seeing these. Okay, so you want to cut out one base page, which is the black one, with the hinge. You want to cut out one of the decor base pages that also has the hinge. I cut this one and forgot about this part of it. So what I did was I went and cut another 5/8 by 5 piece, and I'm just going to add it here to the edge. Oh man, that means I gotta punch my holes again. But that's what I'm going to do to rectify that situation. Again, you won't need to do this because you're going to cut out one full base piece and then one full with the hinge decor piece. I'm going to put the images on the screen so you don't get confused on what I mean, since I'm showing you something different. But all I'm really doing is just adding a piece because I cut out the wrong one when I did it. So I still think this is a great fix. And then I'm gonna let that dry before I punch my holes. Then what I did was I cut out the car from one of the papers. And in the cut guide, I tell you actually, I think, which paper I cut these out of. And then I cut out this Homer's Diner sign. I backed all of them on 100-pound cardstock and then used my scan and cut to cut an offset around them. And I thought it would be fun to, you see how the car is typically here on the side? I don't know if you can see the card right there. So it's usually here. What I wanted to do was actually kind of move it into frame. It was gonna be just like that. And I know some of it's gonna get cut off, but that's okay. And then I'm gonna put the other one up here at the top. And again, something might get cut off, but it's all right. Can even go down a little, right there, that's good. And then this gets slipped in underneath those two, right? So then we have a little holder there and you can pull it out and still see the cute paper. I love that. So that's what this one's going to look like. It's just a photo mat tuck spot. I think I'm gonna go that far. I was trying to keep it level to where it was. And then all this would get cut off. Woo. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue here, and then I can add more once I get it down here. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of follow, I'm gonna lining it up with the car that's there and then kind of just moving it in to where I want it. I think that was about where I wanted it. I'm gonna use my scissors to cut this part off. Gonna need my long scissors. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm gonna come back through and see if I need to add more adhesive, maybe just a little to be on the safe side. I like the way that it's actually coming off here because it gives it dimension. Love it. And now we can add the top piece. I'm not going to glue down in that area. Hopefully that'll work. Let's see if this fits. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. It's nice and snug. I love that. Okay. And then I'm going to glue this part down. Okay, now that we have that done, I did cut this little ephemera piece off from the front cover of the 8x8. But again, I backed it on 100-pound cardstock, ran it through my scan and cut for an offset, and I thought it would be really cute to have it here on the side. So I'm just going to do a little bit down that way so that you could still tuck a photo under it. Like, how cute is that? Love it. Yeah, you can still tuck in there. Perfect. So there we have it. That is our front inside cover. Okay, now we're going to get started on our first page, and you're going to need to cut out one of the base pages or cover. It's a cover page combo. So one of these, you're going to need to cut out one of the decor or pattern pieces to go with this. Cut out one of the 4x6 journal cards. I elected to use this one because it went with the diner. And then I used a corner rounder punch. We are Makers corner rounder punch from Country Craft Creations to round the corners. You're going to need 3 pieces of white cardstock or whatever color you want to use, and these are 1x2 pieces, so 3 of those. And then I used the small ephemera on the front of the cover, and I cut out these 3 elements: the receipt, the snow cones, and the little diner food with the ketchup and all that. I backed them on black cardstock and then did a little bit of an offset around them, cutting them out. And that's all the elements you're going to need besides a knife blade and a cutting pad. So let's get that out now. We're going to be making some cuts into our pattern paper for some fun little hidden spots. So right here with the 3 little like posters on the wall, we're going to cut from side to side, making a slit into each of these. Now, I've actually already done this one as an example. And then what we'll do is we're going to tuck in one of our little strips, and at the top of them, we will have one of our little ephemera pieces, and it's going to slide down over it. So then we would pull it out. You can add a little baby photo here, which I think is fun. Smaller photos are really cute. Or you could do some journaling on here as well. So you'll have room on the back and the front. It's just going to make a fun little pull out interactive element. And then we're also going to cut down here along the black line, I think, like right at the top of it, all the way across, to make a pocket in the paper. Again, these are just fun interactive elements. It's another way to create pockets without having all the additional paper. So I'm going to line up my ruler here. Right at the top of that first black line, and try and go in about 1/4 of an inch on each side when you go to make your cut. Okay. Let's see how I did here. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, it's just right at the top. You don't even really notice when you're looking at it that it's been cut. Now I'm going to cut my other 2 little posters here. And I'm just going to go from side to side, just as wide as the actual image is. Okay, just like that. Let's see how I did here. Nope, gotta cut that one again. There we go. Okay. Now the next thing we can do is glue this down, and you know, we want to make sure we don't glue within the area where we want it to be a pocket. So you're not going to glue down here. You can on the sides, but you're not going to glue also down this way, here, or here. You could do it in between them and maybe right at the bottom. Okay? So just be mindful of how you're gluing it down is all I'm trying to tell you. So this up here, we can definitely do all of it. Okay, now what we're going to do is add glue to the top of one of our little strips and bring in our little ephemera pieces and place those at the top. Now when you're placing them on here, I'm going fairly close to the edge of the element. And if you see any of the white cardstock coming through, you can just trim that. And see, you can still tuck underneath there as well if you want to tuck something down in there. And then we tuck it into our little spot. And it slides down over the little poster. I think it's so cute. And over time, the little slots will kind of get dimensional, and you know, at first it's going to be hard to tuck in our little piece into that slot, but over time it will expand and get used to the paper being there, so then it'll be easier. Okay, so let's do this one. So just a little bit across the top, and then you add your ephemera piece. Again, I'm just doing a little bit of trimming. Oh, actually I wanted this over here. And then we're going to add our little receipt. I think that one would be cute. Okay. Let's see, do I want to put it in the middle? I was going to put it over here because it looks like then it's part of the actual poster. Yeah, so I think I'll go ahead and do that. This one might be cut a little bit different. Oh my gosh, it keeps coming untied. Okay, I'm obviously gonna need to let this one dry. Oh goodness. In the meantime, while that dries, I can actually add on my little knob. I cut out another one. Okay, there we go. Got a little glue on there, but all right, now let's let's see. So what I'm going to do for this one is take my pencil and do a little mark, because I'm actually going to cut out the white part. I don't want that showing. And just cut it right off. Okay. And there we have that. Now for your 4x6, you could add, you know, cardstock on the back of this if you want, but I just love this paper, so I'm going to leave it as is, because if you add a photo to it, it's going to make it a little bit sturdier. And then we can tuck that in our little hidden pocket. And so when you put this next to the back of our inside cover, look how cute this little image is. It's like, you know, here's the front of the diner, and you go into the diner, and then here's the inside. Just so fun. Tried to make these layouts make sense next to each other. And then when we take that out, we of course have our cute little pull-outs. I love them. You could make little secret notes in there. Now we're going to start working on the back of page 1. We're going to be making a side pocket. And in the cut files and patterns, there is a side pocket template for you already. So I cut the little dancers out using the left side pocket, and that's going to go here. I also cut out one of the full pattern papers. As you can see here, I did cut some of it off. So I cut off about 2 inches or 2 1/8 inches from the main piece. So what I did was I had one of these, you know, full pieces here, and then I cut this much off. It's almost like a side pocket piece. Just so that I could get 2 different types of pattern. Now, even though this is a side pocket piece, this isn't going to be a pocket. The pocket is actually going to be this piece here with the checks. I cut out a piece of pattern paper that was 3/8 inches wide by 7 3/8 inches long. And this is going to become like a little border right at the edge. And then we will put our little, make this into a little pocket and add this here into our pocket. And then we have our 2 journal cards, which I believe these were cut from the 12x12 collection. These are from the 8x8. So as you can see, I'm kind of mixing it up. And then they'll go in our little pocket like that. So that's how this page will look. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down the side pocket piece. I'm going to use the first page kind of as a reference, because I want to make sure I get it in the right spot. Okay, I'm not going to push down on that yet till I get this lined up to make sure it's going to be in the right spot. I think that'll work. And now for this piece, we're just going to turn this into a pocket. So we're going to glue on the outside, except for this hinge part. You can glue all of that down. If you want to, or you can still, because you know we're going to have the hinges there. And we're going to just overlap this just ever so slightly. Make sure it's flat. When you go to put this down, you want to place it at the edge of the black and white check paper or whatever pattern you're using. It is longer than you actually need, but this allows you to have room to trim it down. So if you see it's too long, then just, you know, take your scissors and trim. Just wanted to make sure everybody had enough room. Okay, that's looking good. And now we can just add adhesive to 3 sides of our little poodle skirt here. Just kind of centering it in between this area here. Now let's add our little journal cards, and you can round these if you want or not. It's up to you. I'm gonna put that there and that there. Let's see if this is dry. Yeah. And now I can punch my holes. I don't know if you really need to see me punch my holes since I showed you how to do the punching here. So I think I'll do that type of thing off camera. It'll actually be easier for me to see and be able to line everything up without making errors. So since I've shown you how to do the punching for the disc, I'll just do that off camera, okay? So I was pulling out my disc to put my pages together of what I have, and look what I found. I knew it was here somewhere. All right, now this part I was going to show you. It's really nothing major, but I was just going to put my disc in. Oh my gosh, this is so, because I use chipboard. It's very thick. Oh. So if you don't want to use the chipboard, that's gonna be okay. I think even just doing this with cardstock is good. It's going to be thick because of all the paper we're adding to it. Whew. There we go. This is a little tricky to get these on there. Oh my gosh, that just looks like it's getting ruined. Okay, there we go. Now, let's add this one, which should be much easier, right? Just plopping it right over. Is it these discs? I don't know. Maybe I should try my Happy Planner disc. What the heck? It shouldn't be this difficult. Okay, maybe it's me. Yeah, I'm thinking it's the disc because it's bubbling up. There we go. Let's see what's going on. Oh my goodness. think it might be the disc. But look how pretty that looks. So it's really tearing up my pieces. I found some of these from Happy Planner. They're 7/8 inches wide. I mean, these already go on easier. Dropped one on the floor. I'm just gonna take these off and see if there's a difference. Oh my gosh. These were a pain to get on. Ruined my nail polish. Ugh. I don't know, this is so thick around here compared to this one. These are much thicker. All right, let's hope this is better. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. You see how much easier these are going on? See, it doesn't always pay to buy the cheaper stuff. That's the moral of that story. Oh! Oh my gosh, that's so much better. The way it opens, yeah. All right, you guys, I do not recommend Dollar Tree disc for this project. I haven't really used these on any other project, I don't think. I'll probably try another project because, you know, I have them in multiple colors. I mean, what a waste. It's just that the round part here is bigger than the Happy Planner round part. These went on so much better with the Happy Planner disc, so I recommend those because that's what I have. Okay. Now we're going to work on page 2, and the first thing you need to do is cut out 2 of the base pages with the hinge. We're going to take one of those, and where the hinge is, we're going to score at 5/8. You're going to fold back and burnish, and you're going to fold forward and burnish, because this is going to become a flip out like that. So once you have yours ready, you can add adhesive to the outside of that hinge. And then we're going to add it to our base page with the hinge. We're going to match up the ends. So this is going to be edge to edge, okay? We're matching it up here, and we're matching it up here. Okay. If these don't line up, something isn't working. And try again. Yeah, so make sure it's all smooth on the sides. open and burnish. Okay, now that we have that done, we're going to cut out one piece that is the decor or pattern piece with the hinge. So you need one of those. Now, of course, when I cut mine, I just cut this piece. I think at that point, I wasn't sure if I was decorating the hinges, and then I changed my mind and decided to do that. So you won't have this extra piece because you're going to cut out the full piece with the hinge, the decor page with the hinge. However, if you forget and cut this piece out, you can still cut a piece that is 5/8 by 4 7/8, and that will give you the area to cover the hinge. So if you make a boo-boo like me, that's how to fix it, okay? So we can go ahead and glue this down. On the right-hand side, we need to bring out our magnets and add one of those. Let's see. I'm going to say just somewhere in the middle. That looks good. And this is the decor piece without a hinge, okay? So I have one pattern that is a decor with hinge and one that is decor with no hinge. This is the one you need here. Let's see. Just going to put a little bit. I like adding score tape over my piece. And then on the other side, ooh, I did it right. I don't always do that right. Okay. Wait, did I do that right? No, I did not. Oh my word. Me and magnets do not get along. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I made a boo-boo. Okay, I know how to fix it. Daggone it. Silliness. Okay, you guys, I made a boo-boo with the magnet. I should have put a magnet here, not here, which is what I was thinking. But this is already glued down, so, oh my gosh. So I don't want to mess with it. What I was going to have us do was just tack down a photo mat, but now I'm thinking I'm going to have to glue mine all the way down, so I'm probably going to make real photo mats instead of using these replaceable ones. And these photo mats are from my freebies on my Ko-fi account. I'll link them for you. I have photo mats for all different sizes, but I print these out on copy paper and then cut them out and put them in my albums to let people know where to place their photos, and then it gives them a little template that they can use. It's very handy. And I use removable glue stick to put them in the albums. And then that way it's easy for them to take out and put in their own photos. And in this case, that's what I was going to do, have one on each side, but I wasn't thinking properly. I mapped all this out the night before, and so then today I'm kind of like not remembering what I did. So what I'm going to do is cut out a real white cardstock photo mat, and we're going to put that over the magnet to cover it, and that will solve the problem, right? It's still easy peasy fix. It might go up a little bit. I wonder if I can move this over any. Yeah, let's do that. Let's move this more over, at least that way. Yeah, okay. Whew, thank goodness that these magnets can easily be moved if you have not put your paper down yet. Usually I put my paper down, I'm trying to get my paper up. Okay. Yes, it's fixable. Okay, I went offline for a minute. I cut out my 3.5 by 5.5 white cardstock to be my photo mats. And we're just going to place these over the, well, we'll place this one over the magnet. And on this side, what you're going to do is cut out the page decor piece without the hinge. And we'll put that down over our magnet. And then this one we'll just go ahead and glue on like normal. Okay, so that's how you fix that issue. I'm just going to kind of center this onto the page. And when I center, I'm just using this area. I don't include the hinge. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and glue this one down as well. And then I'll glue my photo mat. Now, if you think that your magnet won't be strong enough to go connect through the two photo mats, yeah, mine's working, then you can put your magnet again on the paper underneath your photo mat, okay? So keep that in mind too. It all depends on how strong your magnets are. If they're not very strong, you know, you want to put them where they can have the most contact. But these are basic grays, which I totally recommend. I get them from Country Craft Creations. I'm going to kind of match the height. Now to decorate these pages, what I have are the ephemera pieces from the, you know what, I'm not sure. I think these are from the 12 by 12. Okay, that looks like 8 by 8. Okay, so this one's from the 12 by 12. This one is from the 8 by 8, it looks like. And there again, I backed them on cardstock and did a little offset. I use my scan and cut for that kind of thing. And then I was going to add these to the top, just going to glue them at the top so that you can still tuck underneath them. I also cut out one of the little dancers from the 12 by 12, and I'm going to add that here. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. And that's how we're decorating. So just add adhesive to the top. Kind of center that. It says, please, no dancing on the tables. I think that's so cute. So if you want, you could still tuck your little 3.5 by 5.5 photo mat in there if you print and cut these out. I have a whole binder that I keep these in. And If you wanted, you could even do the 3 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then that would give them a white border around their photo. So those are still handy. I'm not sure why I chose the 12 by 12 size for this one. I think because I already had it available and ready to go. So you could do both of these in the 8 by 8. That would size match better. But like I said, I think I just did it because it was already available and ready to be used. I'm going to move that one aside. Let's see. Guess I'll just glue this one strategically. The arm, the little coat. So that's the inside of page 2. Now let's go to the front. You're going to need to cut out one of the decor pieces without a hinge. We're going to add that here. You also need to cut out one side pocket piece. This is the base side pocket piece. And we're going to add adhesive just right at the edge, turning this into a pocket down here and all up along the side, okay? We're going to match this edge to edge here all the way around. And yes, we could have just cut a little bit of this piece down, but I felt it was easier to just cut the whole base piece and cover it. Just gonna leave this open to work on it. To decorate the side pocket, instead of actually using the decor side pocket piece and cutting it out of a new piece of pattern paper using my Cricut, I decided to use my scraps. So I found this scrap, which would be really fun to go with this scene. It is almost 1 7/8 inches. It's really closer to 1 3/4, and it's by 8. And then I cut out the 8 by 8 record border, the size that it was on the journaling card sheet. So these are going to be my patterns here. But I can't put these in Cricut to have them cut, you know, the rounding part. So if you want to decorate the side pocket area, you can use the template that's already available in Cricut Design Space or the pattern template and use the decor side pocket piece to cut out your pattern paper. I'm using scraps. So what I'm going to do is take just one of the decor pieces. It really doesn't matter what it is. It could be the one with the hinge, one without. You really are only needing this piece, right? So you can get that shape down. And I'm going to take my pattern paper, line these up, and then cut this part off. Now I want to reiterate, I'm only doing it this way because I'm using my scraps up. I'm trying to not cut into a new 8 by 8 piece if I don't have to. But if you are, then use the template that's already available. That is the decor for the side pocket, okay? So I just want to make sure that that is clear. I don't want to confuse anyone. So I could take a pencil and mark it and cut it that way. But quite frankly, I don't do so well that way either. So I like to just match up the sides here and here. And then cut it. and hope for the best. If it doesn't work, I will then just cut a piece using my Cricut. Voila. Let's see how we did. Fabulous. This piece will actually go over this one. Well, if you're doing it the same way I am, just slightly, which is okay. So what I'm going to do is line these back up. I think I'll use a paper clip so it holds it in place. Then I'm going to take this one, line it up right where it would be next to it. And cut this off. Okay, so it has a little arc there. Now I'm just checking to make sure this is all working out the way it's supposed to before I glue anything down. Yep, look at that. Oh my gosh. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, now I'm just gonna fully glue this down. Again, before I put that all the way down, I like to check it again. It's better to check before you start putting it all the way down. I'm going to add this to where the sides meet with this side. And I want that little bit of overlap. You're going to see it's just ever so slightly, if you can see right there. It's just enough. And then make sure this goes to the edge all the way up. Now for the pocket, I took a 4x6 journal card from the 12x12 paper, and I did round the corners. I think I even cut this down. No, it's still 4x6, but that goes in there so well. To decorate our pocket, I did cut out 2 of the little poodle skirts from the paper using the 12x12 collection, as well as a pair of the cute little saddle shoes. Love it, love it, love it. And then I'm going to glue these down onto here, somehow like this, with the little shoes in between. Something like that. Again, I back these on cardstock, artisan cardstock. I used the 100-pound for everything in this. I don't know why. I was just loving it so much. I just love the sturdy feel that it gives everything. I'm just gonna put them there until I get this part down. Kind of wanted one to swoosh this way and one to kind of swoosh the other way, if that makes sense. Now, if you don't want to fussy cut elements out of the actual paper, you can use the ephemera pieces that are already provided. I've used a mixture of, you know, fussy cutting elements out of the actual paper and using the ephemera pieces. I like to mix it up. Okay, so that is page 2. Now I want to show you, look how these look side by side. So cute. We have our little cards here, right? Love it. Okay, now we're going to go to the back of page 2. We're going to need one decor or pattern piece that is with the hinge for the base page. Okay, we're going to do kind of like a waterfall, but it's a little different. It's more like a flip down waterfall. So we're going to need 4 pieces of cardstock, and I'm going to give you the measurements for those. You'll need one piece that is 4 by 6.5, one that is 4 by 6, 4 by 5.5, and 4 by 5. We're going to take and score all of these on the long side at 1/2 inch. So turn them all to the long side, score at 1/2 inch. Okay, go ahead and fold and burnish on the long piece. For the long piece, we're going to tuck that underneath the pattern. So right now what I'm doing is kind of lining it up to where it looks even right here and here. And I think that looks good right like that. So I'm going to pick this back up, flip it over. I'm going to add adhesive to the inside of that hinge. Now again, I'm checking it because my paper moved. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. So make sure your paper gets tucked all the way in as far as it will go, and burnish that down. So see, they'll flip like this, okay? So that's the first one. For the second one, we can go ahead and fold and burnish. For this one, we're going to add adhesive to the outside of that hinge. We're going to add this to the bottom of the photo mat we just put down. So line those up. Okay, so what you should have is a 1/2 inch space between each of these little photo mats that we're attaching to each other. Let's do the next one. Fold back and burnish. Add adhesive to the outside of that hinge. And then we're going to attach it to the photo mat area at the bottom. Lining up the sides, the back. It's okay till I turn it and pick it up and then it gets crooked. Good way to do it is to check here to make sure they're all lined up properly. And this one is not lining up right. There we go. Let's do the last one. And add this right to the top of the one we just put down. Again, make sure everything lines up. I even check up here. I didn't say that earlier. Okay. To decorate these pieces, you're going to need 4 different pattern pieces. I've used the roller skate one, the back of the journal cards, the one that looks like little knobs, but it's the back of the soda one, and then I use the front of the soda one. I'll give you the measurements in order as they go. So the roller skate one is 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. That'll go here on the front. Our next piece is 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. That will go here with the 1/8 of an inch border. If you want more of a border, just take 1/8 of an inch off all the way around to get a 1/4 of an inch border. The next one is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. That will go here. And then our last one is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, and that will go here. So I thought it would be fun to have like little tabs. So what I did was I used a combination of the ephemera that's on the front of the 8x8 cover. This was cut out of the ephemera cut apart sheet in the 8x8. This one as well. And I think this one also. But we have the little receipt with the little candies, the little clock, and roller skates. And I thought these would be so cute to like put up at the top. What do I have in my hand? I think I was going to do, you know, I'm just putting them at random places. We could do that, and then the roller skate one put over here. Like, how cute is this going to be? Let me get the paper on here. It's going to look so cute. So cute. So, there's more to this, but I think we should put these all together and then go from there. But that gets you going on this section. Okay, so I'm going to take some time, glue these pieces all down. Sorry, I had to move it over so I could see. Because for me, right at my head is my camera. So I don't really have the ability to get over the project. Unless I move it off to the side. Okay, that's good. We're going to go with it. Right. Now, I did not cut white photo mats to go on the back. You can do that if you want. You could also use, you know, the paper photo mats that I told you about. purely up to you. Now to decorate the insides, you can go ahead and add elements if you like. I did have this from the 12 by 12 and it was matted as well. I thought that would be cute to add here, like a little pocket. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that just to have something on that page. You don't have to, it's, you know, purely optional. I don't even think I picked out anything to go in that as a pocket. Maybe I'll pull out one of my small little photo mats like this to have in there. That would be cute. I think I'll do that. It's a good idea. Good idea, Jack. But let's see, we can add our little tabs. This is gonna be so cute. Okay, so I'm just gonna add adhesive to the bottom half and put these on. Again, I just am putting them randomly. No real strategy here. Just thought it would be cute. Maybe I should have gone down further so it doesn't hit the top of that. Oh, it's pretty much on where it is. Okay, let's see. For the rollerblade, I have to put this one on last because of the closure for this. Oh, that's so cute. That is so cute. Okay. What do I have here? Yeah, that'll work for that. Okay. Okay, okay. I guess I don't need to go all the way over. There, that's better. Oh my goodness. There, I made that one go down a little bit further so it wasn't right at the top. This one is really like right at the top of that. It's just a little bit under it. But that way there won't be any interference. Not that there is, but you know. Oh, that's cute. And then we can add, I think I was gonna put this one in the middle. And then this one was going to be over here. Yeah. I don't know what time this clock is actually supposed to be at. 4:30 looks like dinner time, so let's do that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, as long as it's just a little bit under. Does that look right? I think that's, oh, maybe that's 3:30. Might be 3:30. That is so cute. Okay. Okay, now we're going to work on the closure. Now, from this original page, this is on the side. And I cut this down to be 1 5/8, and it's by 8 because we have to do some stuff. And so my crazy idea yeah, that'll still work, right? Yeah. Okay. So you may not need the whole 8, but at the time I wasn't sure what I was going to do. So I'm going to score this at, I really need to put some ink in these things. I can't see. At half, what is this? 1.5 inch. I'm going to score, fold, and burnish. Now bear with me. This is an idea that I didn't try to see if it worked. I'm sure you all love it when I do that. Okay. Just find the center and loop your piece over it, like I have here. I'm going to flip and turn while still holding this down. And we don't need all this, but I'm not going to take the time to cut it down. Okay, bear with me. We're going to turn that over. I'm going to go back to the front to make sure I didn't move it out of place. Maybe just a smidge, but you know what? I'm going to leave it where it is. Okay. I see. Okay, I got to move it because it didn't go all the way up to my page. So I'm going right up to the score line there. Okay. There we go. That's better, I think. Okay, so it might be better to put this on and then, yeah. So you want to make sure that it goes up to the score line on this side. So what I'm going to do now is, this is the tricky part. We'll see if it works. I'm going to take my scissors and cut just to get this rounded a bit. If you don't want to do this tricky part, you don't have to. Okay, so that looks good just like that. As you see, I'm just cutting out like the corners of each side, just to kind of still maintain the curve of my decorative paper. Now, if you don't want to do that, you certainly can leave that squared off. It's not that big a deal. I just wanted to have that curve. So that's purely optional whether or not you want to do that. Okay, so for the actual closure part, oh, hold on. Oh my God, I did it again. Okay, at this point, I realized that I once again forgot about the magnet the way that I was originally going to do it, but I found a solution. But I'll tell you 2 different ways that you can do your magnets. If you have not glued down this pattern paper yet, add your magnet and then your pattern paper. Okay? Take your little flippy-do here. Bring that down. Add your second magnet. To cover the magnet, you would take this little cutie patootie that we're putting together, and it measures 2 7/8 by about 2 1/8. This I cut out of the 8x8 journal cards page. These measurements are not exact because of the way that it was printed, right? So these are, it's slightly bigger than 2 5/8, and it's just a hair short of being 2 inches wide. It all depends on how you cut the cards out and the measurements that you get. So glue these 2 together, and then you take this and glue it over that magnet. And then you would cut off, it's hard for me to show this part. Then you would cut off any of the extra bit from the flip of the closure. So you would cut this part off right here. Right like that. So then this would flip up, and then you would have your flips. Okay? That's how it was supposed to be. I realize now how flimsy this actually is, and I really wished I would have backed it. But I thought, why back it and cover that pretty pattern? So I'm just gonna go with it, and if it gets worse, I'll just fix it then. But that's just a note for you. If you want this to be super sturdy, I would go ahead and add some cardstock to the back of that, and then pattern paper on top of that. So in the first scenario, the burger image was on top, which would have been really cute to see first. And then it flips up. In the second scenario, it's going to be down, but the little closure will be on top of the burger rather than the burger be on top of the skates. Okay, so that's the difference. I'm going to take and add glue to the back side of my black cardstock. I'm going to dry fit this on here just so I can place it on my paper. Okay, that looks good. Okay, now I'm just trying to figure out where to place my magnet. And I think right about in here. So I'm going to mark it and then move everything out of the way. Okay. I'm just making sure that's flat. And then this will come up. Okay. Alrighty. Now, I placed my magnet at about 1.5 inches in and 1/4 of an inch down from the top. If you have to do it this way, I would recommend the first way. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my journal card onto that. I'm not going to worry about adding score tape to this one. It's right on the edge of that. Okay. Sorry, you guys, I am terrible with magnets. I like using them, but I usually forget about them, so then I'm having to make fixes all the time. Okay, so that looks good. Now for here, what I thought we could do, we can take and score this and fold it under, right? Let's just see if this works. If it's hideous, we'll do something else, because we could cut around the bottom of the skates and then just add something over the back side. But we'll look at it this way first. Okay, so that is, make a score line at 1 5/8. I actually did less than that. Let me show you, see? Again, it all depends on how you cut the paper. I would say just find a location that you like and score and burnish. And then you see we could glue these together. Look how cute that is when it flips up, and then it would be like this on the front side. I guess that doesn't look bad, right? You guys can tell me the truth. It's a fix. It's a fix, and that's what I need. Because this side looks okay. Granted, those lines don't line up, but we can fix that by adding a border. We can make it pretty. Actually, that does give some sturdiness to that whole closure. I have this extra piece. Oh, let's do it. That works. I'm just gonna add some glue to it. So this is a scrap. It's about 1/4 of an inch wide. I'm just gonna add that over it. Okay, but that looks cute. Okay. Now we can take our skates and glue these on. You can glue them on wherever you want. Now we bring our base piece back in and we glue this entire thing down. I could not have laid that down any better. Oh my goodness. Craziness. There it is. Shall we do a quick flip because I want to. So cute. Get all the glue pieces off. I'm loving it. I like how it turned out, even though we had a even though I had a little boo-boo, I like it. You're going to need your chipboard piece. That is the base, page, and cover with a hinge. You're going to need one cardstock piece cut out in that same design, the base, cover / page with a hinge. And these are going to get glued onto each other. So we can go ahead and do that. Next, you're going to need a pattern piece. That is the decor cover page with the hinge. And you'll need one of those. Don't glue anything down yet. You're going to need one piece of pattern paper that measures 2 1/4 by 8. And I'm going to show you what we're doing. We're going to create kind of a belly band. Well, it's not kind of, it's actually a belly band. And it's going to go around the page like this. So it's kind of that same scenario that I did before where I cut the edges to go around the curve. Again, if you don't want to do that, you could make yours shorter and put it on the inside. That's another way to do it. Now, to make our belly band, I'm going to turn this long ways across the top and score at 3/8 of an inch on both ends. Fold and burnish. Here again, I'm going to add adhesive to the inside of the bottom hinge that we just created. Center that on my paper the best I can. Then I'm going to wrap it up and press down, but right now I'm just checking where I like it. Yeah, I think that's it. So if you can see, I just left a little bit of the record showing on each side. I think that's about the middle. I mean, if you want to be exact, you could measure it out. Now we're going to add adhesive to our top hinge on the inside. So you could dry fit this and then cut around it. I'm just going to do it. We'll figure it out later if I like it the other way. And put it down. It does eliminate the black at the top, but that's just one way you can do it to not cut so much of the actual hinge part off. Or you could, you know, do like I did last time and cut around the decor paper. I mean, you still have a whole inch right here connected. So those are two options for you on how to do that. I do like that because it makes it more like the shape. Just rounding these off just a smidge. Okay. Now we can glue this all down. To decorate our little belly band, I cut a piece of the poodle skirt paper, which is on the back side, and it is 2 1/4 by 3 3/8 ish. Oh, and then I also cut a piece of cardstock that was 1/2 inch by 2 1/4. And I'm just going to glue this on to the top, kind of give it like a little border look like that. You could make a decorative look if you want, up to you. I just was using what was in front of me. So it's about 1/8 of an inch that I have showing there. And then I'm going to glue this on top of my belly band at the bottom on 3 sides, making a pocket. Now to go under the belly band, I just grabbed one of the journal cards from the 12 by 12. This is a 3 by 4 card, but you really could do a 4 by 6. Like, you know, we could put our 3.5 by 5.5 photo mat in there. We could add then the journal card. And then to go in the pocket on a belly band, I did use some more of my scrap paper. This is about 1.5 by 6 1/8, but you can make it longer, make it whatever, you know, is the size of this if you want to. And I put the black and white check on one side and white cardstock on the other. You could do journaling here. You could add a photo or two. It's just something fun and a pop of color I wanted there. I thought about adding some decoration here to the top of that, but I didn't actually pick that out. So I will do that offline and you'll see it in the final reveal of the project when I walk through that. But I just love the black and white check. I had to use it again. So that's how that looks. Now we're going to work on the back cover, and I made this really simple. I cut out one of the decor pieces with the hinge. I used the jukebox and record image, and I'm going to glue that down. And then I also used one of the ephemera pieces. Again, I backed that on cardstock, put a little border around it, and I'm just going to put it down here. I will add this on glue on 3 sides. Like if I wanted to tuck down a little pocket or a little note or something, I could do that. But that is how we're going to do the back cover. Super simple. See, you can still tuck down in there. And that's the back cover. So that's how to construct and decorate all the pages. I'll be back for a full walkthrough. Thanks for joining me.